Hello, we're back.
Hello.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
God, again, lots have happened in 2 weeks.
Yeah, massive amounts.
Major.
And we're not finished yet. We've still got more to come.
Oh, no. Absolutely crazy. It really is.
Yeah.
Oh, so, yeah, we're back doing this show again. Requested by everybody. So, yeah, it's good to be back. Apart from, I think Todd said something about if it was on an hour later, he'd be able to join or something. I don't know, but
maybe we can do that. Maybe we can do that at some point.
Yeah. So, how are you, Kev?
Yeah, fine. Very, very good. Just hot. It's very, very warm.
Tell me about it. It's been absolutely stifling here. Really has. So, yeah.
It's very uncomfortable.
Absolutely. But yeah, it's been a mad old 2 weeks since the last one. I mean, if everybody knows, obviously Julie's not been very well. And of the last show we did, we went off air. I was talking for you for a bit, and then we came off. And literally, within 10 minutes, me and Julie were on the way to A&E with her.
Oh,
so we were, yeah.
Yeah.
By the next day, she was having an operation. So, yeah, we've had all that to deal with. But she's on the mend. She's getting better.
Speedy recovery and that, yeah.
We're just doing what we can where we can. And she's at the stage now, he says, it's like, if I can't do something, I need help, I'll tell you. Just let me get on with things. So that's how we're dealing with it. So
I wish her speedy recovery.
Yeah. It seems weird that because it has been 2 weeks. And after that live show, we were like, right, we need to go to A&E on this one. And we were off.
Yeah.
I think till 5 o'clock in the morning. So it was was a long night.
It was, yeah.
Crazy. So, right, I'm going to try and get through this chat. What I'm going to do with the chat, guys, it's not that I don't want to read all of it out. It's because there is so much that what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the stuff that is actually directed towards me and Kev. And then any of the chat that's going on between yourselves, we won't read that out. So we found out that took a long time, didn't we?
Yeah. Yeah.
So first I've got in, this was at 10 to 4 today. It's D says, and a good evening, Kev.
D always getting in there early.
Oh, gosh, yeah. Can't escape him. Steve131 says, evening all. Evening, Steve.
Evening, Steve.
Steve gets the gold star, actually, for noticing a little thing I put in last week, actually, of... nobody noticed it until Steve on Friday. All through the week in my videos, I'd literally cut all the bits out to get them all, put my scissors back, and they were swinging in the background, and I couldn't be bothered to wait until they stopped swinging to record. So I thought, all right, I'll keep it in and see if anybody notices. Steve is the only person that actually noticed in my videos that I was having swinging scissors in the background. Anything to entertain myself.
Good eye. Good eye.
Yeah. Next we've got Ian Campbell says hello. Hi Ian.
Hi Ian.
Yeah, we've just been talking about the Ecto 1, which we'll get on to.
Yeah.
Ian says, is Kevin Mark on this? Well, I hope so.
Yeah, I hope so. Unless I'm a doppelganger.
Oh dear. D says, oh good mate, thanks. I think that's to Ian. Yeah. Right. Ian says, Ecto 1 goes out on a rather than a bang. Stage 140, grey pipe, shocking.
Yeah.
We better address this one. So, yeah, I've seen the post today that the grey pipe coming from the roof box going into the Ecto 1 is not of great quality whatsoever.
No.
That's what
I'm wondering whether it's done that because it's been sat in a container for over a year.
Quite possibly, and if it's been sat in a container abroad for a year, then it could have, the plastic could have warped or anything.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering what the electrics are like on this one, because
a lot of these parts that you're going to be getting for Ecto 1 and the DeLorean and the Enterprise actually have been sitting in containers in China and Europe, just sitting.
Yeah.
So all in the heat, all in the bad weather, everything like that. It's all just been sitting in some metal container. You don't know what the container's like. You don't know whether stuff's been ruined, be dripping on it, or anything. Heat. I mean, if you've ever been in a metal container in the heat, oh my god.
Yeah, but I think I know what Ian's getting at, as in the fact of quality control before it goes out.
Yeah.
Should it have been checked, or has it just been put in a box to go out and it hasn't been checked? I can probably understand the quality control.
Yeah, I think there's. I'm going to sound a bit controversial here, but I don't think there's a lot of quality control on this. I think what happens is you got to think Eagle Moss and Fahrenheit. They're just the people that sell it to us. They don't make it and they don't distribute it.
No.
All they do is take our money. So you've got another company that makes it and then another company that distributes it. And I'm pretty certain they do a quality control, but it's probably only on batches. So just like anything that you get, sort of like even on biscuits and cakes and food and that, what they'll do is they'll go through just one or two of the batch and they'll check them and they'll go, that's fine. But they won't check the whole lot. They'll just check a couple off each batch.
I think for me I think what got me is with the quality control is they made so much of an effort to make sure stage 2 was correct for the Enterprise. Why did they miss the pipe in the Ecto 1?
I think it's come later on. It's also been taken over by now. It's a sort of the thing. It's happened with a lot of builds where, including DeLorean as well, where and Ecto 1. Remember as well, they did correct the problem with the door, and with the DeLorean, they did correct the gearbox and the steering rod. I think if Eagle Moss was still about and they noticed this, it would have been corrected. But what they would have done is a couple of months later, they would have just sent you that part. Just like they did with when Hachette fixed the finger problem for the Terminator. You just got a little envelope with the bits in, and that probably would have happened. But now it's been taken over by Farnham. I'm not too sure if they have that process in place.
I think they have, because, like I said, the stage 2 of the Enterprise, they've made sure that the correct parts are in that. The mistake that Eagle Moss made with is it the field emitting buzzard or something? Yeah,
it's the orange bit that goes around the engine bit.
That originally was clear, wasn't it? And it was like Trek fans were like, no, that's never been clear or lit up. It needs to be a solid colour. And they corrected it. And I think one of the navigation lights as well, wasn't it blue? And it should have been either red or green.
Yeah, I think it was green.
Yeah.
But that mistake would have been picked up by Eagle Moss anyway, because I think Eagle Moss had already corrected it. So they've probably already corrected that. And people are working from Eagle Moss with Farnham, so they probably already knew. But yeah, I haven't had any other problems with. The only other thing with Farnham was the scanner bar for the Knight Rider that came 40 because there was a 40 batch. They've replaced it. You can ask for a replacement, and they'll send you just the scanner bar for that. And they've also put out a fix for it as well. So I think they do have similar processes, but the thing with the grey pipe is probably it's too near the end of the build. I think if they did correct it, it would be for anyone who started new. And then if you want it, you might be able to request it, but it'll probably be months off before that happens. But I would definitely flag it as.
I think the nightmare will be over when all of the Eagle Moss parts are used and sent out and done with.
Yeah.
And Fan Home are creating their own parts for the Eagle Moss builds. I think only then we're going to see a difference probably in the quality of what's gone on.
Yeah.
I've had some Fan Home parts, with the DeLorean, and there's been nothing wrong with them at all. So I think that will be their nightmare ending once that's happened. But again, it's clearing old stock to bring in new stock. And if I remember just about a couple of months before Eagle Moss went under, they'd ordered a lot of stock for the DeLorean, nearly every single issue, so nobody was missing any issues. Now, imagine that order and how much of it there is. Could be a while. Could be a while.
Yeah.
Lee says, hi, post and panel. Have a good stream. Big thumbs up. Thank you, Lee.
Lee?
I'm going to read this one out from Ian, which is, it really is. This is what happens when companies start to sell under subscription and didn't check the final product. So, I don't know what's going on in these warehouses. I really don't.
There's this talk, isn't there, where they say, where you go, there's not a fully built, finished article, and it's true. A lot of the companies, when they get these, they 3D print them, so they're all plastic, and then they decide which parts are going to be metal. And the only people that actually have a full built version is the company that produces it. So take the Enterprise. So PCT, the company that builds, basically it makes the Enterprise. They're the only ones that have the full built die-cast version. But Fan Home and Eagle Moss don't. They just have the prototype, which is all plastic. And then, when someone says, they should be checking this, like I said, Eagle Moss, Fan Home, they don't, because they are just the sellers. They just sell this. The distribution and the making is done by other people. So it comes, it does start with them, because they're the ones selling this, so you need to complain to them. But then they go back down the chain, so back down to the distributors, the makers of it, and it just takes time to sort of rectify it. But I'm pretty sure after most builds, when they're finished, when you finish a build, you can always sit back and go, well, we could have done this better. We could have attached the main body better. Those hinges could have been better. It just is what it is with Partworks. I think it happens with all of them. There are bits where they are a bit crappy. It's great that we've got people like Ian who can make Partworks and Modz and that stuff for it, because I think a lot of people would be lost without them.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Dee says, I'm going to put this in, can't complain. I'm surrounded by women, so they don't listen anyway.
I'm the same. I've got my wife, my two girls. The dogs are even all female, so I'm the only male in the house. So.
Oh, it's reversal here. There's me, two boys, one male dog, one male cat, and Julie, and a guinea pig. That's a girl. So yeah. But Spider Sprue says hi, Mark and chat. Hi, Sprue.
Spider.
We've got Horlicks says evening, Mark. Hi, Horlicks.
Hi, Horlicks.
Ian says greetings.
Greetings.
Dano's Universe says hello, Mark and everyone. Hi, Dano. I'm just trying to. Right, so we have my dear lady in York's Crafter says good evening, everyone.
Hi, Judy.
So, hi, love. Hopefully, fingers crossed, she's back doing the Disney Dolls House tomorrow night live. So we are getting better, and we're getting on things, and
Good.
She's doing well. She had to have a break from things, and it's not been easy, but things are getting
Small steps. That's what it is. Small steps. You'll be fine.
Right, we've got Dave Matt Build says good evening, everyone, and good evening, Mark and Kev. Evening, Dave, Mark.
Okay.
Just trying to catch up. Oh, we got Burgess says hey,
Burgess.
Hi, Burgess.
Hiya.
And Holick says it liked the look of the train that's come out in France. Oh,
that was the German one that's just The German one, they're on. It's the German train. It's just been released in France. It's the black and red one.
Yeah.
It's been out a while. I think in Germany they're up to 60 something, 67 or something like that.
Okay.
Whether or not it comes out over here, I don't know. But I do think we need a large train partwork.
Right.
There's a gap in the market, definitely. Something like the Flying Scotsman or an A3, like, you know, a Mallard or something like that. There's definitely calls for it, and it would be huge because there's not just people would build that, not just people that make models or partwork, but people who love trains would build that. So definitely a gap in the market.
Just while I'm here, and remember, Ian, if you want to put in the mod for that grey pipe into the chat, you are a moderator, so post away if you want to put the link in for that one. Julie says, hopefully back to Doll's House tomorrow. We are, fingers crossed, even though we've had 2 deliveries of the Doll's House, so it's about over 8 issues that backlogged by.
It's a lot.
Yeah, but you get yours from the shop, don't you, Kev?
Yeah. Right.
So Doll's House normally comes from Hachette. Most of the Hachette builds come in a package. They don't come in a box.
No.
And then the other day, this box turns up, and I'm like, what the heck is this? Now, it looked like the address label from Hachette. It turns out to be Disney Doll's House. Some absolute massive walls going up, and that thing's flying up now. Yeah,
I'm still waiting to do issue 86 because it wasn't there this week, but that finishes the walls of the house. There's no left. It's just the roof and the outer panels, and we're done.
Yeah.
So we're flying for it.
We've got Spider Screw in. Says, hi, guys. Hi, Spider Screw.
Hi, Spider Screw.
Ian Campbell says, it's so hot, guys.
Yes. Yep, swelter in here. It's definitely cooled down this evening, though, but it is mighty hot.
Yeah. DS Model says, hi, Mark and Kev. Hope you have a great stream. Thanks, Dave.
Thanks, Dave.
Right. Okay. So Burgess says the only thing that didn't happen in the past 2 weeks, me editing that Ecto video. Oh. So yeah.
Well, I've got a lot of stuff to sort out here. I've got packs all over the place, and I've got to do some work tomorrow. I'll be building and editing videos tomorrow.
D says, Mark, seen them swinging scissors as well. Thought it was just Casper. I just thought it was a bit of fun to, you know, just why not see if anybody notices and puts the comments in my video. So yeah. I don't know how you say right. If I get this wrong, then I'm done for. Mario Shifts Model Boo, I think it is.
Mario. It's just Mario.
All right, Mario says moin, which I think is morning or hello. Ian says, who know, Kev, maybe, but not good. I think that's to do with the pipe for the Ecto one.
Yeah. There's a lot of processes that go into making Partworks, but all you've got to understand is the companies we buy these from, they're just an office. I mean, take Eaglemoss, for instance. They had an office in London, and I think in that office, they had about 30 people working for them. That was it. Everyone, like the call center, that was outsourced. Distribution, outsourced. The models that are made, outsourced, and obviously, so they just manage our money and make sure we get the parts. They don't touch anything else. So
yeah. Georgie Dave says, evening everyone. Evening, Georgie.
Hi, Dave.
Right. Ian says, Kev, under trading standards, those that sell us are responsible. The buck stops there. Yeah,
of course. 100%. You know, if you buy something from Amazon, but it's made by it's made by Fan Home, say, then obviously the buck stops with Amazon.
Yeah.
But when you further down the chain, obviously talking as a business mind and everything else, there's a lot of more processes that go in place. I'm just saying you have to understand the processes before. Yeah. It's the same with people when they complain that they don't get their mail and stuff like that. Just taking it for instance from work. A lot of people don't understand the complexity, I should say, of it getting from A to B. It isn't just simply going from A to B. There's a lot of processes involved in getting it there. So it's the same with everything. So
yeah, we just have to wait, unfortunately, and see what happens.
Raise it up and see what happens.
Yeah, we've got John's model making in. Says evening all.
Hi, John.
Ian just says just talking the grey pipe. So next, there we go. Ian said, "We've a correction mark, Kev. As cheap as we can make it, not good. Didn't expect it."
They are a lot of these builds I mentioned before. They're on budgets. A lot of these builds are on a budget, and they have to keep within that budget. It's also why some builds don't get past the test stage, because what happens is they then they test it and they go, "Oh, that works," and then what they do is they then go to the finance department and say, "Can we do this?" And then they come back and they do the numbers, and sometimes it's not profitable enough for them to do, so they just don't bring it out.
Yeah.
And but yeah, all builds are sort of means tested, if you know what I mean. Take the Ecto, the DeLorean. When it was finished the first round, Ben Robinson, the guy who was like the creator or the guy who greenlit a lot of the projects, said he was disappointed with the Christmas tree and the flux capacitor. He said, but if he had the money, if there was the money in the budget, they would have been 100 times better. So it sort of tells you what's going on there.
I think this comes also down to trials and what they say is going to be in the issues. So I believe, well, massive one, because a lot of my friends obviously building the Eddie Stobart in the original test run, it said 130 issues, and then when it came out, it was 140 issues. And I think the problem is of that one is they've got to try and make a profit of it, and if they can't release it in 130 issues and not make a profit, then they're going to release it in 140 issues and keep it in budget. Yeah,
there's that as well, and lots of stuff changed from the test builds anyway.
I'm doing the Rossi bike now. When we are one issue behind what we should be on the Rossi bike, and the reason for that is they've made it a little bit longer. So on the packet, in the small thing, you'll see the number that it is, but actually by the issue number the magazine we're on, it's one behind because they've just extended it that little bit more.
Yeah.
So you think, okay, I've got magazine issue 39, there's parts for 39, it's actually parts for issue 40.
Right. So I've extended it from the last time. Yeah.
So, it's come out, it's had its run, and now they've re-released it and they've changed it slightly.
Yeah.
So
but once again, they come down. It's down to budget, but it also comes down to the manufacturing company that makes the stuff as well, because they might not be able to get some parts to do that. So when they say, "Oh, we want the flux capacitor like this," they can say they'll probably turn around and go, "Well, this is the best we can do," and they have to go, "Okay."
I still think they could have made it a little bit more realistic.
Yeah, like I said, it was like Ben Robinson said in the interview. He said what was signed off is not what turned up, and he said he was annoyed by it, but he said there was no way of changing it price wise and everything else. So
yeah. I'll bring this one up. John's model making says grey pipe has 3 kinks due to how it was stored, possibly. So yeah, you were going back to it's been sat in a container for so long.
Yeah.
Stored there.
A lot of like I said, a lot of the stock that we're getting now from it, all the old Eagle Moss stock has been sat in not in a warehouse, but in a container on the dock for over a year. So you can imagine with the heat going up, the cold weather we've had, it's gonna.
I also heard Fanhome was having difficulty locating that stock because they dotted it all over the world. Yeah. And half of it, they didn't even know where it was because they'd hidden it all over the world because of the situation. Dee says, that's to John. Right. So Ian says, considering that most cost over £1,000, it's pitiful that quality to the end is not founded.
No, and also as well, I also want to point out that we're paying over £1,000 for these models. The companies, Eagle Moss and that it hasn't cost them £1,000 to build it.
No.
I would more than half that price that we actually figure out paying, but they have, out of the price that we pay, they have to build it, license it, and manufacture it and everything else. So, yeah.
It's a difficult one, you know, it's a difficult one to sort of judge on this one. Yes, the quality of the parts should have been top notch. Especially when you get into the end of the build and you want it to look right. Number two, the situation with Eagle Moss, nobody knew that was going to happen, and we didn't know that the parts would be sat in a container for a year. What worries me is the enterprise. If them parts have been stored in a container for a year, and people already had panels that were warping and light bleed and stuff, I'm just hoping it doesn't affect.
Yeah. Yeah.
But only time will tell.
No, yeah, exactly. Only time will tell with them.
I can't say, but only time will tell if that is going to affect that build or not. Because we're already having problems with the light bleed and the panels lining up. So
yeah,
just have to see how it goes. We've got David Palmer says, "Evening, guys." Evening, David.
Evening, Dave.
Just trying to get right. So. Ian Campbell says, "Kev, I agree that you can sit back after a build and find faults, but some didn't need to get to the end eyes."
Yeah.
So, yeah. But
yeah, I think it's because what's happened with Ecto as well is that there were people where there were 2 issues away, and now we've finally finished it. I think a lot of people are a bit disappointed with the last issue because they've waited so long as well.
Yeah, the question is, would that have happened if it had ended with Eagle Moss and there was a year delay on?
It would have been picked up if there was no delay. I'm pretty sure if there was a problem, which I still think the problem lies with it being stored for so long.
Yeah.
The colour, once again, would have been one of those things, I think, a bit like the door and stuff like that, where they gone, okay, we've got it wrong, we'll correct it. And you would have had to wait 4 or 5 months to get the correction if you wanted it or not. And then it would have been corrected in further runs.
Yeah. So it
still might be. There still might be a solution that Fanhome do. But it'd be interesting to see what they do about that. But like I said, I've got a funny feeling a lot of it has come down to where it was stored and how it was stored. Yeah.
D says to me, and at Yorkshire Crafter, still the boss mark. Sort of. A lot of it I've been telling her off, actually. Like, you need to rest. So, yeah. Let's see. Ian Campbell says, "Chit it as soon as possible, but yeah, a train would be great." So yeah, I mean, I'd love to do a train build. I think I would.
I would. Yeah. I would. But I'm hoping that they do, like I said, an A3 or A4, sorry, like Mallard or the Flying Scotsman. I think the Scotsman would be better, just because of it being like 100 years or so, not recently.
The problem is the Flying Scotsman is one of the most produced model trains there is, and I think from me as a train, but I love the Flying Scotsman. It's my favourite train, but from my perspective, is I'd love to see something different.
Yeah. But it's probably a good starting point because it's so well known as well. I mean, if they'd done a Flying Scotsman Partwork, you could sell that in the US. You could sell it over Europe because it has that sort of international status.
But for me, it's one of the most models that's been done as a train.
Yeah.
There's a link with Ian with his link for the upgrade part or the replacement grey pipe. Thank you, Ian. Wow, Alex Builds
Hi, Alex.
Kev, how's it going? Hello, everyone.
Hi, Alex.
See, Alex.
Yeah.
Blooming heck.
Coming back, Alex.
I hope so. Blooming heck. I haven't seen him since, was it January?
I don't know. Is it that long ago? It was a long time ago.
Yeah, definitely. So, welcome back, Alex. Hope you're okay.
Yeah.
Everything's going well. Johnny Day says we've just had another thunderstorm. Don't send it down here because I'm painting outside.
Oh, I looked earlier because everyone was saying they were having thunderstorms, and it's all sort of gone round where we live. It's gone like that. So we've just had all the heat. No thunderstorms. No.
We've got Will's Workshop in.
Hi, Will.
Hi, Will. Evening all. Just finished editing the next instalment of Mallard Monday, ready for tomorrow. So that's the one that was released by Harsher a few years ago.
That's the old one, 2007, I think, 2008. I think that came out. Yeah, that was the one where you had to paint it and you actually had to bend the metal. Mm-hmm. I'm sure if it came out now, it would be 3 times bigger, and would have all the sort of bells and whistles of it having a running rail and everything. This is why I'm saying a train build would be awesome here, and I would be interested.
Spruce says, "Oi, Marky Plank. What about me? I'm here." I said hello.
We said hello.
I said hello.
Yeah, we did. I remember.
Yeah, I said hello. Hang on. If I go back up, I've got to go back up quite.
We did say hello.
Yeah. Here we go. Hang on. This chat's gone crazy. So where are you? I definitely said hello. There we go.
Yeah, we said hi.
Hello to that comment. So,
yeah, about 25 minutes ago.
Been that long?
It has, yeah.
Okay. But yeah, it's nice to see Alex build back.
Yeah.
Ian says, in the name of quality, I 100% disagree. Anyone offering the build, regardless of checking it to the end, are responsible and need to change their practice to ensure what they license is 100%. Yeah.
What happens with the licensing, because a lot of people have brought this up before with the Star Trek ships. So the Star Trek, the original Star Trek starships that they used to do, the collection that Eagle Moss did, they were a few that weren't correct. Now, when the company was same with the Enterprise, actually, some of the Enterprise bits where they said, actually, this isn't right. It's the lights are wrong or the windows are wrong. They've said that it's been signed off. So what happens is the build comes along, they build a say the Enterprise, they take it to CBS. CBS look at it and then they sign it off. If there's any problems, the companies now, what they tend to do is go, well, it's been signed off, so it must be right, because the company, the licensor has approved it, so it must be okay. So even we could sing and shout till the world comes crashing down, but it's been signed off by the company. So say, for instance, the Dodge Charger. So they take the Dodge Charger to Universal, they look at it and they sign off on it, right? But we're builders and we know what's going on, and there is a little mistake on it, right? So sometimes they will change that mistake. Other times they will say, well, it must be on the car, you're wrong, because the company, the actual company that license it, have said that it's fine. So
yeah,
it's a rock and a hard place, I would say. Yeah. There should be a lot more quality control. A lot of times as well, I find with a lot of stuff that they build, they don't get experts in. So they don't get the model experts in, and they don't get the people that are passionate about whatever genre they're doing. So what happens is you get people that build these, like the Enterprise build, and they go, well, that's the Enterprise, and you're like, for fans, we're like, no, that is wrong. That Boussard collector shouldn't be clear. It should be, and they could turn around and go, well, CBS signed it off like that, so it must be right.
Yeah.
You know, even though we know it's wrong, they say the company that actually owns the rights have looked at it and they've said it's all right.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a difficult one. There should be, we should be getting these with no problems. But as you full well know, every partwork comes with its problem.
Yeah. Alex Bell says, yeah, hopefully back soon, mate. I'm working on it. Thumbs up.
Cool. Nice one.
David Palmer said, would love to actually know how much each issue actually costs to produce. Probably not from China. Yeah,
I would say the magazines are more expensive. Let's put it this way. The magazines are more expensive to print than the actual parts that we get per issue. So there you go. But also, like I said, it's done over a budget. So what they do is, if you've ever noticed, you'll get a load of little, just before they give you, say, the chassis of the car, which is probably going to be the most expensive thing. What they'll tend to do is give you a load of issues where you've got 1 or 2 bits. And you're like, oh, I'm paying how much? Take the tumbler, for instance. So we had a panel in one issue and another panel where we put 2 bits in the side. So that didn't cost a lot. But what happens is that the money that they've saved from doing that issue goes to them doing something bigger later on. So like the chassis and that. So the reason we go, oh, there should be more parts, it's probably because they've saved money. So when they can do one issue with a bigger part in, if you know what I mean.
Ian says, although the pipe they supply is so different to what within the instructions. So, yeah.
Yeah, sometimes I think the instructions are different because they're done differently. They may be following the test of it, not the actual build that they're building. So sometimes materials change. It does say in the very, very, very small print that some parts may vary and differ in colour due to manufacturing processes.
Ian says, though, I do invite those companies to contact me if they want an extra eye on quality. Julie says, talking of tests, I've seen on Facebook Hachette have done a Peter Rabbit cross stitch.
Yes, that was tested. I think that was tested last year. Things like that, cross stitchy, and the book collections, they're sort of always come out every year, so expect something like that. They had a Disney one not too long ago, I think, a Disney cross stitch that I think Scott was doing, but I don't know if he's doing anymore. So yeah, those sort of things, those sort of crafty things always tend to come out anyway every year. So, but I do remember them doing a Peter Rabbit cross stitch. So
yeah. We've got David Bassett says, good evening, Mark and Kev and everyone in chat. Evening, David.
Hi, Dave.
Burgess says, I was starting to make a dent in my backlog, but then I got super busy for a week, then got a flu for another week, and now got more parts arriving. Thankfully, I should have decent free time coming up.
You'll have a bit of work cut out.
I love a build marathon. I really do.
Yeah, yeah. The problem I have with doing build marathons is that I've got to record everything, and it's all stop starting. And
that's the easy bit. It's the editing that does me.
Yeah, that's what I mean as well. It's not only filming it; it's editing it as well. And
yeah. John Model Making says the Ecto 1 roof rack parts are quality with good detail, except the tube, of course. The driver's side antenna park does break easily, so be very careful. Right.
Yeah, all the aerials and antennas on any car tend to break really easy. Yeah, because they tend to be the plastic bits that they stick on.
Will says, I have yet to sort out where I am with my Flying Scotsman build. All right.
Yeah, he's doing the Flying Scotsman and the Mallard, which they both came out through Hachette years ago.
Yeah. Ian says, don't get me wrong, I'd rather folk have 100% great builds than mods.
Yes.
I like upgrading. If something is just basic and you upgrade it to something better, then yeah.
Yeah, it's why I think a lot of people, they do dioramas. I love watching people do, like, they make the Airfix models and then they do these beautiful dioramas for them where they like crashed into a forest or they do a little forest scene. I'm thinking they're just absolutely magical, those sort of things.
Yeah. David Bassett says, how about the Bullied Pacific Winston Churchill air smooth casing and the engine that pulled his funeral train to Bladen. I've not heard of that one.
Yeah, that's the train that took Winston's coffin.
Yeah. Right.
I think Hornby actually owned the carriage it was carried in.
Right.
But that is more of a British thing. A lot of partwork companies tend to want something that they can sell everywhere.
Alex says, "Yeah, been away since January, mate." So I've been that long.
Time.
Goodness me. We've got Bookman's Model Mania says, "Hey everyone, hi Book."
Hi Book.
Just catching up because it keeps jumping. Keep going. Right. Dave Max says it's like the Eddie Stobart truck. On the completed model, the trailer lights are working, but there's no wires going to the trailer for any lights. That's false advertising. Well, I heard that I think with Geordie, Dave, Christine, that lot, they emailed Harsha and they said they will be working. So see what happens.
They did that, I think, weren't the side light on the Routemaster on in the advert for it, but it never had the light for it.
It could have been.
I remember there was a lot of complaints about it because they were like the side lights got no wire into it. A lot of people came up with a mod so it could be lit, but on the actual advert itself, it says it should be working, but it wasn't. I suppose it's similar to the advert that we had with Ecto 1, where they said there'd be no decals on it or anything like that, and then they supplied a big sticker for the door.
Yeah, and then people didn't like that.
No, and there's also been one with the new one, actually, RoboCop. So on the original cardboard that you got from when I got it from France, it said comes with a die-cast gun. But it's not die-cast, it's plastic, and it comes in pieces as well. It's not a single piece like it's supposed to be. So a lot of people in France were not happy about that.
No, but and they know, and they get their Partworks. They're serious about them.
Yeah, they were, because it was advertised on issue 1 as having a die-cast gun. When you get to that issue, it's in pieces and it's plastic, and so many people were not happy.
Yeah. Ian says, sorry guys, not trying to ruffle feathers, etc., but those responsible need to step up.
Yeah.
You know, this is why we're doing this show. It's for people to speak up and to express their opinions about what's going on. That's why we decided to do it, because we were doing the Optimus Prime review, and we ended up talking more about Partworks than we did. So, you know, this is a chance for people to say, whoa, come on.
Yeah.
You know, this isn't right. And express your opinions on it. So you don't need to be sorry. Yeah, no. If you're passionate about a build and you're passionate about a model, then speak up, because if you don't, then things won't improve for the future.
That's right, exactly right.
So
100%.
Book says between recording videos right now, working on the Moomin house today. I never watched the Moomins.
No, I'm very, very surprised that actually come out. That was released here, because though the Moomins did come out in the UK, it's a French thing. It's huge in France, so I was quite surprised that they released it for the UK.
Yeah.
But there is a call for it, so
yeah. Book says the large part issues that come to mind are R2D2's dome, the ecto body part, etc.
Yeah. Like I said, what happens is you'll get a load of issues with just small parts in, so they can save the budget and money for something bigger later on. So they go, say in their budget they say they can spend, say, £1, right? And they go, well, the body of the car is going to cost more than £1. It's going to cost £2. So what they do is they'll go, okay, so in that build, we'll make sure the parts in that build only cost 50p, and the parts in that build only cost 50p. That leaves us an extra £1, which can go on to the body later on.
Yeah.
So they make their money.
Ian says, those that license, it should not rest there. Those buying the license to supply need to be 100% happy as they are first in the chain of complaints.
Yeah. There's it's complicated, but yeah, it does stop with the people we're buying it from. So if you're not happy, you take it up with them, and then they are the ones that sort it out. But like I said, in the enterprise case, there was a lot of complaints, especially on the group. You can only go if you go onto the group and have a look. There's loads of complaints about the window alignment on the neck of it, about how misaligned they are. The response from Eaglemoss at the time, and I still think that's the case with Fanhome, is CBS approved it, so it must be right. And it would cost too much money to amend. I do understand the frustration, though. Certain things they can amend. Things like the sticker on the side of the door, X01, the orange bit of the Boussard collector on the engine of the Enterprise. Those little things are little, small, and they can be changed. But when you're talking about a bigger part and then changing the whole manufacturing around it, that probably costs quite a bit of money. And then they'll lose a lot of money with throwing parts away over a bit that probably only cost a couple of p over something that cost £1, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Alex Bill says, I'm going to have to go now, guys. Great seeing you all again. See you all soon.
See you later,
Alex.
See you later, Alex. Yeah.
I would love to see a Fanhome representative on here.
You never know. They could be watching. They lurk in the shadows. That's all I'm saying.
In the tags, all the companies, all this IXO, there's D'Agostini, Fanhome, you name it, they're all tagged in this. So all the Partwork companies, so Partwork Upgrades, Model Modz, Mr. Fusion.
You'll be surprised. You'll be very surprised that they do watch these videos. I know they do because they've mentioned it to me. So I know a lot of these companies, Agora and Fanhome, do watch these videos.
Yeah.
So
next we've got Bobby Bates. Says hi all. Hi Bobby.
Hi Bobby.
Right, trying to just trying to catch up. Right, okay, I've got this one next. Burgess says after I get 2 Eleanor wheels boiled, I should be able to engage the warp drive and get through much of the backlog.
Cool.
Oh dear.
There are certain things I dislike on cars, and that is putting the wheels on and the engine, putting the engine on, and the chassis as well. They all seem to be very awkward. Everything else runs smooth.
DeLorean white wall tyres, absolute nightmare. Spider Bruce says, I have a lot to catch up on the Knight Rider Titanic Route Master bus. I seem to be concentrating on the Eiffel Tower and some Nook books. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Book says, I like we need to increase the cost. Most recently on the Prime second issue. We need to increase. Oh, is that it's gone up in price?
Is that what Prime are we talking about?
The Prime second issue.
Is that the Agora one, or is that the? Because I haven't had a price increase on that. I haven't heard of a price increase anyway.
I haven't either. So, says the Moomin House is actually finished.
Finished.
So,
yeah.
And I saw it, and when I saw it, it showed it to my wife, and she loves it, so I'm building it.
Cool.
So, also says it is kind of interim until the Disney Dolls house is available on this side of the Great Pond. Yeah, they're down there. Will's Workshop says, got to go. I'll catch you all next one. All right, Will. Nice.
See you later, Will. See ya.
Spice Crew says, the Moomin was on TV when I was a kid, 1983.
Yeah, it was definitely on TV over here, but like I said, I think it was more popular, even though it was Finnish. I think it was more popular in France.
Yeah. Bookman's Model Media says, for me, the Enterprise D became a no-go after Eaglemoss went under. Sold my parts off and won't be doing it unless somebody gives it me for free. That would happen for me. Might
never know.
Count a bit more. Holic says, yeah, I remember the Moomins when I was a kid in the late 80s and 90s. Book says, Fanhome Optimus Prime. I didn't know there was a price increase on the Fanhome.
There might be over there, but there definitely isn't here.
Right, because I wasn't aware of that.
But I know that there's price increases anyway. I mean, like I think I said it on my update video when I did it. There's a price increase every year normally.
Mm.
So I reckon in the next year or so we're going to be $15.99 an issue. It's going to be pushing them.
Book says Routemaster was great, but attaching the back of the bus, that was a fun live stream. Could have gotten a lot of stripes for language on that stream. Yeah.
It was the roof that done me. It was the roof. The roof, lining up those poles on the roofs, the grab pole.
I partly built a Routemaster, and I sold it for various reasons that I won't go into.
Yeah.
But mine was fitting the roof of the cab. Mine didn't line up. The poles on the top deck. And I think I never got round to the back of the bus. So, yeah.
Yeah, it was the poles on both decks. You had to open the little windows that they had and maneuver the pole while touching it was a nightmare. And the red screws to do the panels. Oh, I was seeing them for days.
Yeah.
There are hundreds and hundreds of red screws.
Ian says, my last comment, sorry, although as a company we supply mod stroke upgrades to fix issues, what folk are paying should never need to get us to sort out mistakes.
No.
But then I always think, if you're going to go for it, you're going to put it on. If you want to pay that little bit extra and get it right and good quality, then you're going to go for people like Ian.
Yeah.
Right. If you're wanting fixers that probably shouldn't be there, like the Terminator, there was quite a few that needed sorting, then yeah, you would go to Ian, because I bought quite a few of the leg piston replacements and stuff because they were bad. I think it's up to you. It's up to your budget, and I think it's up to. But yeah, if you haven't got,
it's good to have the like I'm saying with the upgrades. It's good to have that. Things like the hoverboards is a great addition to the DeLorean build.
Yeah.
But like I understand what you're saying. We shouldn't have to pay money to fix things like the Christmas tree and the flux capacitor and stuff like that. We shouldn't be having to fix things, but there should be mods if we want it to be a little special, like maybe the electric pole attachment for the first movie. That we never got that. That would be a nice little add-on.
Okay, I'll put it out there. In 2 weeks, we do this show again. Ian, come on it.
Yeah.
Come on it. Represent Partwork Upgrades and come on.
Yeah.
Represent it. Show what you're all about. Show. I'm not daring him, because I know I dare him. He'll come on. I'm not challenging him. I'm just saying, come on, Ian. Show what Partwork Upgrades is doing. How you are improving model. I know how great Partwork Upgrades is. Kev knows how great Partwork Upgrades is. But not everybody might think that. So come on the next show in 2 weeks' time, and represent Partwork Upgrades and show what you can do for people and what upgrades you can show. And what that's what this show's all about. If any of the companies, any Partwork companies want to come on and say, right, I want to come on and talk about what we're going to do and stuff, more than welcome to.
Yeah.
More than welcome to, because it's a show for everybody, not just us two.
No.
So
if you want to come on and talk about it, you come on and talk about it.
Yeah, come and sell. Why not? I'll see what his comment to that one is. Ian says, good. I'm glad they do. They need to reach out. Yeah. I think Fan Home, I know a lot of them that used to work for Eagle Moss, and it's come up in the groups. They're now calling that company Eagle Mess. So,
yeah. It was a mess. It ended badly. I just hope it's the last one. We don't get another company like that, or something happens that Yeah. But you can never know. It's fate. You can never. Yeah. You never know what's over the bridge.
Book says I got a lot of pointers from Sir Dave on the bus. Yeah, there are people that just know the builds inside out. Know what they do. I mean, I wouldn't say I was an expert on the Titanic, but I kind of know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
If I'm winging it. That's because I know a lot of stuff about the actual history and everything. It's something I've been passionate about for a long time.
Yeah.
And I think so. If, like I said before, if you're so passionate about it, you're going to pick up mistakes. you're going to pick up that things aren't right, and that, you know, I would pick up instantly if something wasn't right with the Titanic, which I did do actually on issue 1 because they got the colours wrong on some of the bits and pieces.
There's a lot of colours I do believe wrong on that, but then I remember Hachette's response was, "It's a museum piece. It's not."
Yeah.
Didn't they? That's another thing that companies are very good at. They're very good at rewording stuff and going, "Well, we never said it was accurate. We just said it was a museum piece." You would see in a museum, not the real thing. But that's what they've done. They're very crafty. They know how to word stuff very well.
Yeah. Book says, best pointer on the back of the bus, make sure all the frames are tight together. I agree on that one.
Yep.
But if you don't think they're tightened together, tighten them again and again and again.
Yeah, there was a few things I didn't think were going to fit. When I put the panel on the back of the bus, I never thought it was going to fit. But actually, when you start screwing it together, it sort of zips it all up.
Holic says, and if you want bells and whistles, a Bluetooth mod is great.
It is indeed.
Yeah. Spidey Spruce says, thank guys, I haven't got there yet on the Route Master, but after doing the 4 legs on the Eiffel Tower, that sounds easy.
It's been nothing yet.
Yeah. Burgess says, but who's going to represent Partwork Pizza? Ian is laughing at that one. Come on, Ian. Why not? It's a good laugh. Yeah. Burgess says, what made me mad, Bobby says, what made me mad is that when you first start building, you get a lot of miscellaneous parts which you can't find use until further in the build.
That is to entice you in. A lot of Partworks do it. We take the head. We got the head for Optimus Prime in the first issue. So what they do is a lot of these companies will give you parts first issue, big parts, to entice you in. So you go, oh, well, look at that. That's a good part. And then they normally go on right at the very... I guarantee the Optimus Prime head will be clicked on the last issue. And we built it in issue 1. A lot of builds like that. You get the bonnet for the Fast and Furious Dodge Charger. In the first issue, you get the bonnet. That doesn't go on until the last issue. It's the last piece you need to put on.
Well, yeah, but Kev, if you're building the Disney Doll's house, they threw that right out the window because they said, right, let's build a door in the first couple of issues. It's really difficult to build, but you can build it and then put it away, and it still hasn't been put on 100 issues in. Yeah,
that goes on, once again, right near the end when we do the front of the house.
It's like the most brittle part that you built for that doll's house, but yet it's still not installed on the house.
Yeah, they do this. The engine for I think the Enterprise, you get the bridge. You get the bridge section on the Enterprise for the first issue, where you build the bridge and the cargo bay. Once again, I don't think you put that on until somewhere in the middle, like issue 60 or something, stage 60, 70. So it's, they do this to entice you.
Yeah. Ian says we'll still be here to rectify the issue, and that's what the good thing about the Partworks are. The modding companies, they are there to help us, to provide problems, to provide solutions to what we need.
Yeah,
which is great. Right, okay. Ian says it's today.
Okay, we'll mark that in the calendar.
Burgess says, okay, gotta go now. See you next time. I'm getting to the bottom of this chat, would you believe?
Whoa. See you later, Burgess.
David Palmer says, a bit like RoboCop, giving you a foot and a head helmet in the first 2 issues. Yeah, it's just a way to get you in there.
Yeah, by the way, that foot, you don't do that foot again. And someone messaged actually on my on my video that I posted about that when I was doing the French version, and said that the support rod that's on the back of the foot is supposed to be tight. You'll take it off anyway.
Yeah.
Because what you do is you build some of the parts for it, but actually what you start on the left leg. The one you get in issue 2 is the right leg. So you build the left leg up, then the right leg. But that little pipe section at the back, you have to unscrew it anyway. So I know mine was all loose, but actually you have to unscrew it later on to connect it.
Book says exactly what they do. First issue or two has really great parts to make you want it, and then ho-hum, parts come around issue 30 to 40 when you're too far into quits. Yeah.
Yep.
And Bobby says, today on TV there was an ad on the Alien build. You see, that would have been differently to any Harshette build that's come out previously.
Yeah. They're doing a year build on that, like Agora model. But what I've noticed is they are starting to advertise it, which they didn't do before, which sort of shows me it's been out for about 6 months now. It's been out a long time now. Well, it's actually been out longer. I think it came out in January when they first brought it out. So I think they're only 2 or 3 pack. I think they're what are we? I think it's January, February. The last pack comes out for that. So, yeah,
it hasn't worked for them doing it the way they've done it, and they've turned around and said, "No, we need to do this as we were previously done it, which has been a success. Which is we release it in the shops, we release it on a normal subscription." Because it's not made as any money, it hasn't worked, and people haven't bought into it like we thought they would do. Which is perfectly fine, because if they thought something worked and it's not worked, and they haven't got the money back, then yeah, okay, hands down. If they've held up and said we made a mistake, we're going to go back to our normal way of releasing this.
There wasn't a lot of advertisement for it when it first came out, and I'm like who was it? Who said? I can't. Who said
it? Bobby.
Bobby. Yeah. So I've seen it. I haven't seen the TV advert yet, but I've seen it plastered over Facebook and Instagram and YouTube. So I mean, it's nearly been out a year, and they're already sort of now trying to force it. So it almost says a bit like you said. I think it hasn't done as well as they were hoping.
Yeah.
So yeah. But I know they're still keeping it pack size, so they're still doing it for a year build, and the packs are like £100 or so.
Okay. Buck says, gotta go. Going to record another video before the HTM stream in an hour. See you later, Buck.
See you later, Buck.
And D says, night to Buck. So I think that's us, Kev. We've done another hour, and that's really quickly. Yeah. So hopefully in a fortnight we'll have Ian on. And Ian can do his thing. He can explain about, the upgrades he does and everything. Yep. And, at the end of the day, everything's open to everybody's opinion on how things are. Yeah. We just had Todd come in saying, "Hey guys, sorry, Todd,
we're just wrapping it up. Where you been?"
I put the advertisement on the HTM YouTube as well. So But when are your next live, Kev, or next video?
My next video will be tomorrow. It'll be the Enterprise stage. I don't know what stage I'm on now. Stage 29, I think it is. Or 28. 28, stage 28.
Yeah.
That's tomorrow's video.
Live gaming or live at all?
Yeah, live gaming as well in the evening. And then I'll be doing another live stream on Wednesday at 7 o'clock.
Right, okay. This week for me, I don't know when I'm live. I really don't. I don't know. I could appear. I'm like a bad penny. I just turn up anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what I'll do is I'll just catch up with this chat. So Ian Campbell says, I think we're just about done. Yeah. Todd says, better late than never.
We'll have to arrange it so when we can have Todd on as well.
Yeah, because it's good to get an opinion from over the pond.
Yeah,
even even people in different countries, it's nice to have an opinion on how.
Yeah, because the US don't have a term for part work. It's like an alien concept to them. It's why Agora doesn't have part work in any of their stuff. It's big scale models.
Yeah,
because they want to hit the US market. It's a big market to hit, but they don't have sort of part works like we do. So
okay. Yeah. Spider Sprue says, to quote a Marvel character, I'm a Groot, Naito. D says, night, Mark and Kev. See you in a fortnight. Excellent show again. Thanks, D.
See you later, D.
And Dee also says night all in chat also. So yeah, I don't know when I'll be live again. I just keep an eye out for things. Normal videos will be released during the week as normal, Monday to Saturday, and yeah, we'll be live back doing this in a fortnight's time.
Yeah,
I think it gives us enough content for now where we're not twiddling the thumbs, even though there's still been a lot going on. So, but it's
there's a lot going on. Maybe in 2 weeks we can discuss all the new builds, because there's probably going to be a few more out by then. But yeah, like you said, I've got a load of stuff ticking by. I keep getting lots of Knight Rider packages turning up. Getting one a week at the moment. It's really mad. I've got one last week, one the week before. Issue 10 is en route. Pack 10, I should say. Pack 9, pack 11 is being prepared to be sent out. So yeah, it's madness at the moment.
All busy, which is good. Which is good. So yeah, it's a night from me. Thanks everybody for watching. We'll see you all in a fortnight's time. So Kevin, you can do your thing. Yeah.
Night everyone. Thanks for joining us. It's been brilliant.
So,
I've been Kev.
I've been Mark, and we'll catch you in a fortnight.
See you later. Bye guys.